I have to move my chair. Oh, that's a guitar. You don't want to hit your guitar when you're moving your chair. All right. What's up, everybody? Live streaming. Here we are. Now I've changed my camera position so that I can actually look at both cameras kind of, sort of similarly at the same time ish. Maybe if I move this camera a little this way. It's a little bit wobbly. Hey, what's up, Flicker Treat? I like your name. It reminds me of Halloween for some reason. Aristotle Full Throttle here. Hoping that you guys are safe and sound, quarantining, enjoying your time alone, having a nice time, watching movies, entertaining TV shows, and perhaps a live stream or two while you're at it. Not saying you should be watching this, but you should be watching this every day. I'm going to be doing this every day this week at 12:30 Pacific Standard Time. That's 1,230 hours. Will, get with your time zones, bro. Will says he thought that PST was 3 hours behind Central Time. No. It's 3 hours behind Eastern Time, 2 hours behind Central Time, 1 hour behind Mountain Time. Who's on Mountain Time? Can I get my Mountain Time people here? Who here is on Mountain Time? Mountain Time. It sounds like you should have like a long beard if you're on Mountain Time. I'm on Mountain Time. I'm a mountain man, and I'm on Mountain Time. I don't care where I am in the world. I could be in the Alps. The Alps might actually be on Mountain Time. I could be in the Himalayas, and it's Mountain Time. Mountain Time's when you get on your horse. It's Mountain Time. It's kind of like what Thing says. It's clobbering time, except it's Mountain Time. And right now it's throttling time. That's my Thing catchphrase. Mountain Time, literally. I'm going to turn this light down just a little bit. So bright. So very bright. I just got up. I got up late. That's why today's show is at 12:45 PST instead of 12:30. I know I promised it'd be 12:30 every day, but listen, what is time? What even is time anymore? What's up, everybody? What's up, Kayleen, and Shadow Remake, and Strange Sanchez, and Ator88? Thank you for joining me. It's suggesting that I wave to you on the app. I could press the button, but it's going to ruin my thing. I'm waving to you, but I'm also waving to you in real life. IRL, that's how I do it. Will's here. Everybody's here. Hope you brought your coffee. We're going to talk about movies. Talk about all kinds of movies, and are we even going to do movies anymore? Are movies a thing? Are you going to want to sit in the theater in the dark with a bunch of people like coughing and rubbing their nose in their popcorn? You don't want to share your popcorn. Do you share your popcorn? Let me know. Guys, comment if you share your popcorn. Sometimes I just get my own popcorn. You have to be a real good friend if you're going to share my popcorn. A friend of mine, he likes to put, he's a real good friend, and I share my popcorn with him. He likes to put candy in the popcorn. So when we get the popcorn, we get the candy, and then we just pour it all in the popcorn. So there's like a candy surprise every now and then. Shadow Remake, you will share with your wife. That's totally legit. I can agree with that. That's good. But you're not going to be like, hey, my name is Kevin. This is the first time you ever met me. Could I have some of your popcorn? No, Kevin. Kevin, I need to get to know you, Kevin. And then we could pour our candy in our popcorn and enjoy it that way. So, I'm having a bit of a morning today. I hope you guys are being safe and washing your hands and being quarantined. I just learned that my parents both have COVID-19. So that's very serious. I understand. I'm still working through that, processing it. However, I don't want anybody saying they're sorry. I don't want anybody saying, give me any kind of like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I want you to stay the F at home and wash your hands and do that. That would be nice, because then people like my parents won't get sick, because my mom's been on lockdown. However, my father has a job that is essential, which is another word for expendable. But now he's home because he's got COVID-19. Thankfully, their symptoms are mild. However, we know that can change at any time. So, be careful. Don't spread a pandemic. I mean, I should be wearing a face mask right now. I got my face masks on the ready. I could wear this one. I could wear this one. I can't wear this one in Los Angeles. Can anyone tell me why? Why can't I wear this one in Los Angeles? Let me know in the comments. Because I will be dead. I will be dead. Or I'll make new friends. It depends on what part of town I'm in. Yes. Popcorn. So, if you're sharing your popcorn, make sure you wash your hands. Wash your hands. Get good candy though. Don't get no crappy candy and put it in my popcorn because I will be mad at you. Had 2 bus drivers in our district pass away. Okay, well that's good. That's not good. That's terrible. That's horrible. Yeah. Yeah, this is what we do here on Aristotle Full Throttle. We get real. We bring it. Yeah. My parents are doing okay. They're okay. They will be fine. I think. You never know. My mom said she's going to walk it off. Because, Rocky movies are really good for fighting things. Every year at this time, I actually watch all the Rocky movies. Maybe not all the Rocky movies, but I will watch Rocky 4 over and over again. Maybe not the best Rocky movie, but it's probably one of the best movies ever. So you can't sit there and tell me that it's not the best Rocky movie. Isn't that weird? It's not the best Rocky movie, but it might be the best Rocky movie. Do you guys, what is your favorite Rocky movie? I'd like to know. I really would. And if you say Rocky 5, I'm going to get me and a bunch of my friends to come and beat you up. I don't have any blue scarves. I call them scarves. That's what the president calls them. Wait, hold on a second. I'm out of focus here. My camera doesn't recognize me anymore. Oh, wow, I'm very tired today. So, Rocky 2 is actually a great comedy, low-key. Rocky 2, I never thought of it as a comedy because his wife is in a coma the whole movie. But if you think of it, I don't know. He is chasing that chicken half the movie. That's pretty good. And he catches the chicken. Yeah, Rocky 2's got a lot of good Mick and Rocky interaction, which is quite good. Have you guys seen Birds of Prey yet? I haven't seen Birds of Prey. Is it worth it? Is Birds of Prey worth it? Here's my problem with Birds of Prey. I grew up in New York, and that accent gives me like a knee-jerk reaction where I can't handle it anymore. I just can't handle that New York kind of trashy accent. So when Harley Quinn comes around and she's with the accent, I knew so many people like that growing up that I'm just like, get away from me, you're annoying me. Harley, it looked like an SNL digital short. Birds of Prey? Yeah. It kind of does. Kind of like a joke with the New York accent. I wonder who edited that movie, because in Suicide Squad, apparently the people who edited the trailer did such a good job at making it look watchable that they hired them to edit the whole film. And if you guys know that trailer editing and film editing, or feature film editing versus trailer editing, different things. totally different things. Joker. What's So Kayleen, tell me the last movie that you just watched. Oh, I think I know it actually. I think you said that you watched Star Wars. I don't know why you watched that. Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. If you guys watch the Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, I'm sorry. It's a terrible movie. I don't know why people even bother to kid themselves into thinking that it's a good movie. Did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker? If you enjoyed it, I am not sharing my popcorn with you. You could get your own popcorn. I have a membership at ArcLight, and it is a $1 upgrade from the size that's like a thimble to the size that's like a trash can. And then they say, well, we could give you a trash can full of popcorn for just $1 upgrade. And then I go, yeah, give me that. I would like that, please. Actually, it's not even a $1 upgrade. It's a free upgrade if you have a membership. And it costs only $1 because they apply $5 to it. It only costs $1. Morbid curiosity. What are movies that people watch out of morbid curiosity? That's a good one. I tried watching The Room out of, not Room, but The Room. I tried watching that out of morbid curiosity, and you know what morbid curiosity did to the Tiger King? I don't know. Morbid curiosity always killed the cat. The last movie I watched was Midsummer. That was the last movie I watched, Will. We are in sync. Will gets to share my popcorn. Will and I, popcorn bros. We're going to go watch the next Ari. What's the name of that director? Midsummer was good. If you saw Midsummer, raise your hand. Let me know if you saw Midsummer, because I'm going to spoil some of it. Or first, I'm going to non-spoil it. I'm going to say Midsummer. Let's find out the director's name again. He's got the same name as me. I don't know why I keep forgetting it. People call me Ari. Ari Aster. Midsummer. I loved Hereditary. Hereditary was amazing, and it's the same director, it's the same production company, A24. A24 makes good stuff now. A24 is the New Line Cinema. When New Line Cinema, after New Line Cinema, Kaylee, Star Wars was not good. So did you see Midsummer? You saw Midsummer. Okay. Will saw Midsummer. I saw Midsummer. I thought it was pretty good. I liked the idea and the execution actually too of the idea of a horror film in broad daylight. I mean, they're in Sweden, so it's daylight all the time at one point of midsummer in the equinox or the solstice. Dude, Will, you haven't seen Hereditary? Awesome. It's at least 3 times as good as Midsummer, at least. I mean, Hereditary freaked me out to the point where I was messed up for days. There were days where I was like, oh, I still feel weird after watching that. So that's how good that movie is. It's kind of like, I think it's going to go down as one of the best ever. Of course, we did just lose Max von Sydow a few weeks ago. And what was he in? Here's a trivia question for you. What was he in that was one of the best horror films ever, if not arguably the best horror film? Because Max von Sydow, he was old. When he was young, he was always old. He was in a lot of Ingmar Bergman films. Kind of like how that movie doesn't make sense anymore in our current reality. Midsummer or Star Wars? Yeah. Will says he generally avoids panic-inducing movies. I do too. I'm not a big horror film fan. Not very into the jump scare. I don't like the idea of gore for gore's sake. However, I would say that Hereditary is definitely more of a high intensity psychological thriller, because there's just so much. There are so many scenarios. What did I just become like Mid Atlantic? There's so many scenarios in that movie. Hey, don't you see? Now I sound like a gangster from the 30s. But those Mid Atlantic gangsters from film noir. There are so many scenarios in Hereditary that just put you in the shoes of the characters, and you do start to panic. You do start to freak out because you're like, oh my god, what if this really happened? Kind of like doesn't make sense. The movie was woof. Hereditary was woof? You didn't like Hereditary. I love it. I think that the job that Toni Collette does, the job, she's like, I'm just here to do a job. And that job is to freak out for 2 hours. Requiem for a Dream. I saw that a long time ago. That was the Pie director. Oh, right. Yeah, yeah. Hereditary is definitely one of those movies where it's really great, but you can't watch it ever again. You can't watch a movie ever again. Yeah. Kind of like, yeah, I'm thinking of another movie that just popped into my head because Will just said Needful Things, and Needful Things is based on a Stephen King book, and I thought of another Stephen King book, Misery, and I was like, yeah, Misery was real messed up. When she hobbles the dude, you can't unsee that. I saw that like when I was a ancient little baby. Not ancient baby, but I saw that in ancient times, before the dark times that we live in now with all the COVIDs out there. And I still clearly remember seeing James Caan being hobbled. Spoiler alert. Not a good sight. What's a great topic for a video? Thank you for this. Movies that you think are great but never want to watch again. One movie for me like that, Hereditary. I don't know if I could ever stomach it again. But another great movie that I thought was brilliant but can never watch it again, $1 Million Baby. I can't watch that movie again, except I thought it was a fantastic film, and I thought it was incredibly moving. However, never going to watch that again. Too much of an emotional gut punch, so to speak. Let's see. What's good? It's the guy who met you in Ralph's that one time. I still think about the chances of that happening. Hey, what's up, guy in Ralph's that we met one time? If you're the guy in Ralph's, I remember that. That was fun. High five, man. You followed me on Twitter, so it was complete chance. There you go. That's the world for you. It's a small world. Thank you for being a throttler and a loyal friend. I hope you're staying safe and staying at home, and enjoy your ice cream sandwiches. I remember you guys were getting some ice cream sandwiches, I think, and they looked really good. You know what I regret from that interaction, buddy? We didn't get a picture. We should have got a picture. I would have tweeted it out. I don't know. That was a missed opportunity. Next time, we should put that on Craigslist. Missed opportunities. Never seen Misery either. I turned German now. I went from Mid-Atlantic to German. I've never seen Misery either. This coffee is good, yeah? Hey, guy on Twitter, Nima. That's your name. Everybody give a shout out for Nima. He's been a hardcore throttler for years now. And now here we all are, hanging out, talking about movies that make you feel miserable. Misery. It's a good one. Kathy Bates won an Oscar for that role, so yeah, no big deal. $1 Million Baby. Yeah, they're massive downers. So the opposite. My connection is poor. It's not the only thing that's poor around here. $1 Million Baby is definitely a downer. It is the opposite of Rocky. It is a boxing movie, the opposite of Rocky. You've got Rocky movies that are the opposite in feeling. They will bring you up. from being very down, though, but they'll bring you up at the end. Although Million Dollar Baby is definitely a satisfactory. It's a great movie, won Best Picture. But the idea of a horror movie in sunlight is cool. There's the movie Daylight. Was it Daylight? No, Daylight's with Sylvester Stallone. My mind is I can only think in Sylvester Stallone references because, sometimes I don't know what I'm thinking and it's a real cliffhanger. I don't know what. We're only going to talk in Sylvester Stallone references because they're pretty expendable. Doolittle. I have not seen the recent season of Castle Rock. However, I know that Castle Rock is a production company that made Seinfeld. Let's see. Honestly, I usually watch movies all the time, only unless I'm trying to get someone else to watch it. Nima says, very small, LMAO. LMAO, yeah, that's exactly what happened. We went off 2 minutes. Here we are. Yeah, Memento was a fun brain teaser. Oh, I'm excited to see Tenet. Tenet is the next movie coming out, written and directed by Christopher Nolan. I don't know, did he work with Jonathan Nolan on Tenet? Because he usually worked with Jonathan Nolan on a lot of the movies, except for the first movie that was his departure from working with his brother on the screenplay was Interstellar. That was the first Jonathan Nolan exclusive movie. And so I think Tenet, it's coming out. It's got Denzel Washington Denzel Washington Jr. in it. He's pretty good. What are your thoughts on the smaller version of Denzel Washington? Let me know. John David Washington, Denzel Washington's son. I think he's pretty good. However, Hollywood is Shadow remake. Can't wait to see that one. I'm right there with you because you know what the cool thing about Christopher Nolan is, and this thing gets me excited every time, is he is the only major massive Hollywood movie director that can make an original screenplay blockbuster. And there's nobody else that can do that. Every other blockbuster we go to see is some kind of sequel, it's some kind of remake, some kind of adaptation or comic book movie. Christopher Nolan, writes and makes movies that are like, oh, it's an original movie from this guy. I know it's going to be blockbuster level entertaining. So that's freaking cool. And it'll contain high concepts and good ideas in those movies usually. Or at least he knows the way to his movies aren't dumb. They're not like Michael Bay movies. They're Michael Bay sized. However, there are some cool ideas in there and they may not make you think too much, but at least they're not dumb. I like that. Tenet looks crazy. I'm ready to be transferred back to 2010 on some crazy Inception vibes. Yeah, it looks like it's some crazy Inception vibes. Here's a cool thing about it. It's got something to do. I don't know anything about it really. I just know that it has something to do with the afterlife. And it has something... Sorry, just adjusting cameras here. And... yeah. It has something to do with the afterlife. Hold on a second. Hang on, guys. Just a little bit of a camera work here. And I think because of the spelling of the title, it's a palindrome. Tenet. And Memento is a movie that was made backwards. So he made a movie that was backwards once before, Christopher Nolan. And now he's making a movie that I think, this is my speculation, because he works in high concepts usually, or he at least starts with a concept and then really kind of goes with it. I think the movie is going to have either scenes or moments where, and you see it in the trailer, things kind of moving backwards and undoing. I think it's gonna kind of be like the Prince of Persia video game where like you can stop things and rewind them and then do it again. So either the movie is gonna be constructed to where you get to the midpoint of the movie and then the movie's gonna unravel backward. So we're gonna like it's gonna be a real mind bender of a movie, which I think is his specialty. And if he can execute that on that level and not just a conceptual short film type of level, I think that that would be a feat to behold. A hold to be feat. Person of Interest, the TV show. I haven't seen that. What is Person of Interest? Is that a procedural TV show? Is that a show? Is Kira Sedgwick in that show? Because then my parents watch it. Let's see. Palindrome of time. Yeah, I'm thinking how it could be used asynchronous use in time of Westworld. All right, guys. I'm going to make an admission to you. I've only watched the first season of Westworld. And it took me half the season, took me 6 episodes to like it. I watched the first 6 episodes and I was like, there was a moment that happened, and then I was like, okay, now I like the show. However, up until that point, I was really bored. I just was like, okay, you're sitting there, and now there's people, and then they wake up, and it's the same day, and there's cowboys, and Radiohead is playing on the player piano, and now Soundgarden is playing on the player piano, which I thought was cool. And then they're like, there's naked people, and then they're in a lab, and it's in an indescript lab. It seems like a very waste of space, the lab. It's just this big, huge black room with glass walls with nothing. Like, what are they doing with all that space? Have you ever been to a doctor's office? You ever been to a... Listen, I know I'm crapping on Westworld, but let me know if season 2 and 3 are worth it, because I will power through if it actually gets incredible. It's a Jonathan Nolan show, Person of Interest. Yeah, I heard about that, because Jonathan Nolan now is developing those TV shows like Westworld and Person of Interest. So he's actually, the two of them, Jonathan and Christopher Nolan, pretty good. I have a little story here. I was at Sundance years ago when Memento came out, and I actually got to see Memento before anybody knew who Jonathan and Christopher Nolan were, and they were both there, just talking about their movie that they wrote and Christopher Nolan directed. And I was like, these guys are good filmmakers. And interestingly enough, Jonathan Nolan has an American accent and Christopher Nolan has a British accent. My sister just joined. What's up, Veronica? VDre8577. Cheers. I hope you have some coffee. So I was watching them, Christopher and Jonathan Nolan, at Sundance, and they were talking about their film, and it was noticeable that Jonathan Nolan had an American accent and Christopher Nolan has a British accent. And someone actually asked them, like, why do you guys have different accents? And it turns out Jonathan Nolan went to school in Chicago and Christopher Nolan went to school in, I guess, Cambridge or something, some smart school. I don't know. And then he pretend he's kind of got like a fake accent. It's really not, though, because their parents, one parent is English and one parent is American. So they said they grew up in both United States. And I think Christopher Nolan technically is American. So that accent is just him trying to be like, look at me and my slicked hair and my trench coat. I am a fancy director. But it works for him. It works. He's good. I guess when you get real smart, you just get a mid-Atlantic accent or a British accent. One day it'll happen to me. I've been waiting. A Persia movie with Jake Gyllenhaal is not a good. It's not a good look. I'm at the Xbox game from like 15 years ago, the Prince of Persia. That was a pretty fun game because you could, if you died, you could press a button. If you fell off a cliff, and then you press a button, and then you could use the sands of time to turn back to where you fell off the cliff and then start over again. That was pretty fun. However, yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal was in the Prince of Persia as the Prince of Persia because he looks so Persian, that guy. He is a bit swarthy, but not, Jake Gyllenhaal is actually a good actor. I just watched recently a movie with Jake Gyllenhaal, directed by Denis Villeneuve, and it's called Enemy. I recommend that movie. It is cool. It's a cool movie. Jake Gyllenhaal. It has Jake Gyllenhaal's in it. Watch it. Um, Explain the Nolan accent phenomena. Yeah, that's the situation. Apparently, they both grew up in Chicago and they both grew up in London together. However, um, Christopher Nolan explained that Jonathan went to university in Chicago. And Jonathan Nolan's like, yeah, I went to college in Chicago. But if you notice in interviews, Jonathan Nolan has an American accent and Christopher Nolan has developed or retained a British accent, or Jonathan has lost his. And it's just a funny thing that I think they want to have some kind of distinction from one another. Maybe it's just like a sibling rivalry situation. Like my sister, she has a German accent. She's not German. I mean, she is part German, but I don't know where she gets the accent. Veronica, where do you get your accent? I'm going to wave to my sister. Wave. First season of Person of Interest is a little slow, but seasons 2, blow the doors off, so to speak. Okay, I'll check that out. Person of Interest, thank you. Yeah, so that's the Jonathan and Christopher Nolan accent situation that was it was noticeable then. And I think everybody in the audience was thinking that, because they had a Q&A for about 45 minutes after. I went to see Memento twice during Sundance because it was just such a mind bender that watching it again was so much fun. The movie is technically in reverse. However, the black and white scenes where he's in the hotel room, where Guy Pearce is in the hotel room, those are chronologically in forward. However, the scenes, every scene that you watch that's in color is the scene before the scene that you just watched. So that's in color. It's an incredibly constructed movie and pretty flawless. And when I saw Memento, I was like, this guy's going to make some cool movies. And then he made Insomnia. But then he made The Prestige, and Batman Begins. Those were good. I liked Insomnia, though. Insomnia was, I think, him just getting his Hollywood wheels on. I've actually seen every Chris Nolan movie in the theater because somehow he compels us to go see movies in the movies. And that's what this episode of Aristotle Full Throttle Livestream is about. Are you going to go to movies anymore? Are you going to go to the theater? Are you feeling that there will be a time after these dark times where it'll be okay to go back to watch movies? Probably, yeah. But how about you? Are we transitioning to a period where everything is just going to be just fed into your capsule at home? Because, they're releasing movies online that you could pay for now that are supposed to come out in theater, but nobody can go to the movies right now. And I think we're going to get... Personally, I think we're going to get used to, even more so, getting things on demand. In college, I explained Memento to my stoned roommates when they watched it for the first time. Yeah, you don't want to try to explain that to stoned people. I love the scene in Memento. If you've all seen it, I own the DVD. The DVD was cool because it came with all these loose leaf notes that kind of, you open up the thing and they all fall out and they're all little Post-it notes on there. That was when DVDs came with like themes and stuff. We're just kind of thrown into a chase scene, a foot chase scene, and Guy Pearce is going, "Oh, why am I chasing this guy?" And then the guy shoots at him. He's like, "Oh, he's chasing me." It's a good moment. Let's see, what else? The Prestige. What they're pulling on The Prestige, Jonathan, is just an actor he hired. Yeah, they are pulling off a Prestige moment. You don't want to spoil that movie, but yeah, The Prestige is definitely... they have to keep up the illusion. And Jonathan Nolan is not good at doing a British accent, so that's the illusion. It's all Christopher Nolan pulling the strings. Different than the movie. It diverges from the movie about 2/3 in. So Christopher and Jonathan Nolan really take some cool creative license and make that movie make a left turn about 2/3 in from the book. It just completely diverges. So I think Christopher Nolan recognized how cool the concepts are in the book, and then was like, well, what if we just change the whole ending and make it movie-like for the medium? What's up? What's up, Tenio? Thank you for joining. I'm going to call you out, and I'm going to wave to you. Tenio, what are you reading? What comic books are you reading right now? We were just talking about Christopher Nolan movies, and Batman Begins. That's a good one. Here's my thought on Batman. I thought that it was really cool that Christopher Nolan took the concept of a superhero, a comic book hero, and placed it technically in a real world situation in which, if you had all the money in the world, perhaps this guy could do these things. Maybe not extract a fingerprint from a bullet fragment that was in a wall, which is, listen, The Dark Knight is an incredible movie, but that was dumb. Sorry. You can't. Let's do some real detective work, Batman. Don't try to find a fingerprint from a bullet fragment that you found from a brick in a wall. However, they tried to take that kind of sensibility and apply it to Superman, and you can't do that. Can you voice any Marvel characters? I did when I started. I said it was Throttling time. It's Throttling time. How's that? Alan Moore. Okay, so TDO's reading Alan Moore's Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing. I remember Swamp Thing, and Tom King's Vision Run. I haven't read the Vision comics actually. What is? I mean, I know that they're coming out with Vision. They're coming out with WandaVision, which is pretty cool. Are you guys excited to see that? You guys excited to see the Marvel Disney Plus streaming shows? WandaVision looks interesting because they just, the Marvel universe has been doing this pretty well. Speaking of genres and trying to enmesh superhero characters in different genres, WandaVision looks like they're kind of doing classic American TV programs, which are pretty cool. However, I was just saying how Christopher Nolan has his kind of real spin on the Joker and Batman and Dark Knight, and then they were like, well, this is successful. Why don't we take a character like Superman, because Warner Brothers owns the film rights for Superman, and they're like, well, why don't we take that character and make him dark and make him in a real world situation? And it just doesn't work that way, because Superman, you need a guy who is a beacon of light. You need the guy who's always going to do the right thing. You need the guy who's always going to be good in order to have a character like Batman. Because if you don't have that contrast, you're just not going to have. There's just not going to be an interesting contrast if everybody's like, oh, I'm dark Aquaman, and I'm dark Wonder Woman, and I'm dark Batman, and I'm dark Superman. It's not interesting. I think that's where they failed with the Man of Steel series. Does anybody know if Henry Cavill is going to play Superman anymore? Let me know. Oh, cool. What's up, WO88? Found me on Bandit Incorporated Star Wars fan fiction video. I did voice Qui-Gon. Oh, thank you for watching. That was a very fun thing. I really love Bandit Incorporated's videos. I definitely highly recommend his videos. He actually did a fan fiction on what if they redid the prequels of the Star Wars prequels, and he has his own spin on it and actually did an animated several hours long video of that, which I got to participate in, thankfully, because I was a big fan. And I'd been watching his channel for years and years on YouTube, Bandit Incorporated, if you don't know what it is. And he's like, I need people to voice these characters. And I was like, I'm in. And he actually let me do it. So it was fun. I enjoyed it. Bandit Incorporated is great. Did I read Doomsday Clock? You'll see how important Superman is to the DC Universe. I have not read that, but thank you. I'm going to put that in my notepad of things to do while in quarantine. Because I have had so much time, and I know you all have been too, and I hope you're using it wisely, like reading Doomsday Clock. Speaking of Doomsday Clock, how many of you all watched Watchmen? Was you watching Watchmen? Because I was watching Watchmen. Who watches The Watchmen? Answer that question. Raise your hand. That was fun. If you watched Watchmen, do you want to see a season 2? Because I heard that they're not going to continue it. They're not going to continue with The Watchmen. Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? I think it's a good thing because it was a freaking perfect, an amazingly well done season of TV. Maybe, perhaps, and I'm not trying to be hyperbolic, but it might have been the best season of TV ever. I'd like you to voice my own video, actually very similar to his video. Okay, cool, yeah, I'm in. I've got nothing but oodles of time. Let's do it. It'll be fun. And I love Avengers Endgame. Avengers Endgame, I can watch that. I'll probably watch that right after this because earlier we were talking about movies that bring you down. Avengers Endgame, it really feels like we're in that right now. If you go outside, it's like Thanos is out there, and we're right now, this moment is when Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man all are staring at Thanos across a wasteland. Except they should all stand 6 feet apart. Flashpoint Paradox. Yeah, I got to catch up with that. Did you watch DM me 88? Thank you. W88, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. The HBO show. Yeah. Have you seen the Snyder shared 5 movies and snaps for the DCEU? I have not seen that. Have you guys seen that? Do you guys want to see the Snyder cut of Justice League? I thought Justice League was fine. Did you guys like Justice League? I think the only scene that I enjoy from Justice League, and it feels like it was probably directed by Joss Whedon, because sadly, Zack Snyder had a family tragedy, could not continue directing Justice League, so he had to leave the project. And then Joss Whedon, director of the first 2 Avengers movies, took over and finished directing and writing Justice League. The resurrection scene of Superman is so much fun. And if you like fun, that's what we do here. I enjoyed the heck out of that. So I'm going to catch up on Doomsday Clock. Let's see. Yeah, I'll voice all the Marvel characters. We'll have fun. It'll be great. I'll even voice Howard the Duck. How about that? Justice League was supremely underwhelming. Justice League, I mean, over 12 years, Marvel took the time to lay out each movie, 22 movies, to a point where we actually are invested into this overarching story and the overarching characters. And DC was just like, oh, they have what we want, so let's just try to match them. And you can't redo that. You can't remake that. Marvel already paved the way and gained an audience and gained followers. And, you know, DC was like, well, how do we just go down that path now? You really have to trailblaze. That's what you got to do. What's up, Dance Machine 87? We're all here dancing. I hope you brought your hope you brought your dancing shoes. Yeah, tweet me the Snyder plans. I want to see that. But are you guys going to go to the movies after this? How long is it going to be before you think we're going to go to the movies? I think we're all going to have gas masks, hopefully. I mean, I really hope you all are being safe, and I hope that you all are washing your hands, being mindful, being respectful, distancing yourselves from others, making sure that you know you're not going out unless you have to. It's really important. This is a crappy situation we're all in, that the whole world is in, and the quicker this can be mitigated, the better. The way we do that at this point, because there's only two things that can happen: you either get it and you try to beat it, or you don't get it at all and you don't spread it. So that's our best defense against this. And it's a virus. It's a dumb little virus. It's barely even life. So why are we trying to let it outsmart us? Just be smarter than a virus that stupid RNA. It's got barely any DNA. It's not even a thing. It needs our DNA to reproduce. What an idiot. Idiot virus. Yeah, I hope you all are staying safe. Wash your hands. I'm just going to keep saying it over and over again because it's really important. Yeah, weekend matinees. I actually like to go in the morning to the movies sometimes. Like a 9 a.m. show. Call me crazy, but sometimes that's fun. But the funnest thing, I was lucky enough to see Avengers Endgame on a Thursday night at 10 p.m. at the ArcLight Hollywood, the Dome, the Cinerama Dome, and it was the coolest thing ever. And you might think I'm being hyperbolic again by saying it was the coolest thing ever, but it actually was the coolest thing ever. Because at the ArcLight, they have a tradition where someone comes out and they announce the movie. An usher says, hey, you're going to be watching this movie tonight. It stars these people. It's this long. The exits are that way. Talk to us if the sound is bad. So this guy comes out for the screening, the 10 p.m. screening of Avengers Endgame at ArcLight Cinerama Dome in Hollywood. And he comes out and he's holding a gauntlet with all the Infinity Stones. And he says, with this gauntlet, I will snap my fingers and use the power to summon the directors of this movie, Anthony and Joe Russo. And people are like, what? And then Anthony and Joe Russo walked out and addressed the crowd and were like, hey guys, we're so happy you are coming to see this movie. The crowd's going crazy. The roof is falling off the Cinerama Dome. And then Anthony and Joe Russo said, we'd just like to introduce you to the writers of the film. And then the writers of the film came out and were thanking the audience for being there for all 12 years of the journey. And then the writers introduced Alan Silvestri, the composer of the damn movie. And I don't know if you guys remember, Alan Silvestri wrote the theme music for Back to the Future, for Predator, for Forrest Gump, and the list goes on and on and on. And he wrote the theme music for Avengers Endgame. Not just the theme music, he scored it. And then Kevin Feige, the guy himself, walked out and was like, so now it's deafening. The roar is deafening to go see this movie. And Kevin Feige's like, I don't, how many of you have seen all of the Marvel movies? Everybody cheers. And he's like, no, you're lying, because this is actually a 20-second movie. You haven't seen this one yet, and I hope you like it. And guess what? We liked it. So that was a pretty amazing way to go see that movie. You saw someone in a gas mask yesterday. Good golly. Good golly. Well, at least they're being safe. I got my scuba gear. I didn't know they were still going through with Alien Awakening. Oh. Alien Awakening. Wow. I'm assuming that is the next Ridley Scott Alien film. I'm assuming. Alien Awakening. See, Alien Covenant had its moments. Overall, not good. Prometheus, it's so just barely Like, it's almost good. Prometheus is almost good. It's got incredible things about it, but also uncredible things about it. Alien Awakening. Wow. Wake me up when that happens. What's my favorite Marvel movie? I'd have to say my favorite Marvel. The one I enjoy the most, the one that brings me the most joy. I mean, it's either the first Avengers or the most recent Avengers, but I really do like Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I like the second one better than the first one. I'm an outlier on that one. And I really love Thor Ragnarok. I think Thor Ragnarok is incredibly enjoyable. The thing I love about Thor Ragnarok is the fact that Kevin Hemsworth, I was going to say Kevin Hemsworth, the lost Hemsworth brother. Chris Hemsworth is hilarious. And they were trying to make him this like stuffy kind of Shakespearean Thor. If you go back to the original Avengers and watch Thor in that, in the original Thor, it was actually directed by Kenneth Branagh, who directs a lot of Shakespeare movies. If you go back to that, Thor's kind of like this, oh, I am in the blah, 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 blah. I'm this dark Shakespearean type of character. But no, they realized after a few movies that Chris Hemsworth is hilarious. And now that Chris Hemsworth is a producer of the Thor movies and helping construct the Thor movies, they were like, let's get Taika Waititi. Let's get these people who are funny and make Thor funny. Because Chris Hemsworth, that's in his wheelhouse. He can be a funny dude. And I enjoy the fact that it's just Thor Ragnarok is a screwball comedy. And the Guardians movies are fun too. And I love that he's funny at the end of Endgame with the Guardians, the Asgardians of the Galaxy. I think the Guardians will be in the next Thor. I forget how that's going to work. But the chemistry between all of them is just so good. I enjoy laughing. I like fun movies. You watched all 6 Tremors movies on Netflix for escapism during this time? Teeny O, I'm going to send help. I actually haven't seen... I saw the first Tremors because Kevin Bacon and Michael Gross. Is Michael Gross... At what point does Michael Gross fall off the Tremors film series? You know what? I might do this. I might take you on this challenge to watch all 6 Tremors movies. They don't make movies like this anymore. Remember Tremlins? Do you remember Tremors? There was Critters, Gremlins, movies with like little tiny like monsters from all over. I guess The Mist. He's in all of them. Michael Gross. See, I'm glad that Michael Gross he's like, now he's got to be the Tremors expert now. People got to go. He's got to be the guy who shows up and is like, I've seen this before. And then everybody kind of goes to Michael Gross for advice on how to combat these. Also, why is he still around? Like, I would be living in a boat offshore at this point if I was him. I'd be living on a plane 24/7. I'd be on the moon. Is it like... So at what point also... I have another important question about Tremors. Do they end up on the moon? Or any other planets? Because when movies get... Especially horror movies, when they get about 5 or 6 deep, they take place in space because they've run out of room. I mean, I did enjoy Friday the 13th, Jason in Space, or whatever it was. I thought that was fun. Number 4 is like Back to the Future 3. I've had to actually do math reading that, but it's in the Old West. Oh, 6 is in the snow. They like to change it up. It's good. I'm telling you, 7's going to be in the ocean. They're going to be like former ocean creatures. Here's my pitch. Tremor creatures are from the ocean, right? And we all know that part of this the Southwest was covered in ocean at some point, so they evolved and adapted to go underground. So now there must be tremors in the Marianas. There must be. What are the monsters called? Tremor monsters? They're going to be in the Marianas Trench. Oh, yeah. They should definitely do a Family Ties Back to the Future mashup with the Tremors. So Michael Gross is in the Old West. He probably plays his own great-grandfather like Michael J. Fox does. Because that would be smart. You need Michael Gross. He's like the linchpin of the whole series. We've only got a few minutes left, guys. Any other things that you're watching? So Tremors. This is my notes. We've got some Tremors. I'm taking the minutes here. Tremors series. I'm gonna watch these. I haven't seen the first. The first one I remember just being crazy and fun, and involving Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon is he's an interesting actor. He's one of those guys that can play a good guy or a bad guy and not really change up his vibe. It's like, is he a creep or is he a nice guy? Is he having a baby? She's having a baby? Footloose Kevin Bacon? Or is he Sleepers Kevin Bacon? Like, I can't tell. I can't tell. Tremors Dune mashup. Sandworms. I hate them. And Beetlejuice. You've been to Mars. Kevin Bacon is only in the first one, plus it has Reba McEntire. Reba McEntire, don't mess with Reba McEntire. She's awesome. I seem to remember her with a shotgun in that. If you give Reba McEntire a shotgun, that's what the world needs right now. I feel like what would make us all feel better is watching Reba McEntire pull out a shotgun. It would make us all feel safe. That's for sure. She just walked out right now and was like, coronavirus, with a shotgun. All things would be cured right now. Sorry. I've got my phone taped right now to the top of my monitor because high tech. I think it knows that there's only a minute remaining, so it's going to fall down. So all week I'm going to be doing these live streams around 12:30. Got up late today. It's a bit of a rough morning. But Brahman, hello. We're about to head out right now. So 2 weeks that people feel that, hey, things seem to be okay right now. However, it's going to either plateau or be really difficult right now. So instead of feeling a little bit lax about your isolation and your quarantine, you should probably be doubling down on your quarantine because it is really important at this time. These next 2 weeks are critical. Stay home. Avoid contact with other human beings if you can. At the most, wear a face covering, even though it most likely will help you from spreading it to others rather than you from catching it. And watch Tremors movies or any Kevin Bacon movies. See you later, guys. It's going to automatically shut off in 4 seconds. I'll see you tomorrow, 12:30. And you guys at home, I will catch you guys later too. Thanks for watching. I'm Aristotle Full Throttle, your bro in the know with the fro, and I'll see you later.